honestly, I'm also very excited for Final Battle. So let's get into that. We'll just do, I know Danny's not here giving us goofy ass names, but we'll do a quick prediction show and run down the card.
Ooh, I got it. Starsky and Hutch.
Sure. Let us start then with the Briscoes. They will be facing FTR in a double dog collar match, which was announced on Dynamite this week, like literally in the last 10 seconds of the show. That will be for the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships, excuse me. And James, I think this is the first instance of this really kind of depends on whether they have a TV show.
Absolutely.
to know who's going to win.
I think so too. I am operating under the assumption that Ring of Honor is moving forward with its own show. That's how I will be predicting. Well. That is how I will be predicting all of these matches tonight. I believe the Briscoe brothers are going to beat FTR. FTR have been Ring of Honor champs for a while now, and it hasn't benefited the tag titles. You know, I think if you're not going to defend the Ring of Honor tag titles on AEW TV, you might as well take them off of AEW TV and have the Briscoes win it regardless. So I also just don't see the Briscoes losing 3 matches in a row to FTR in something like a dog collar match. It feels way too geared towards the Briscoes. So Briscoes winning the Ring of Honor tag titles. That's my prediction.
Yeah, I agree. I think they're going to win as well. I don't think FTR is going to be put on Ring of Honor television, at least not for the long term. Yeah. And honestly, those belts for them have just kind of been props, and they get to carry around 3 sets of titles, and that's all it's kind of been. I know they've defended a few times, and obviously they've defended against the Briscoes twice at the previous pay-per-views. But like you said, a dog collar match is the Briscoes type of thing. It helps to protect FTR in a loss, especially, I don't know if the Briscoes are going to be heel or not. I imagine they are. At least against FTR. FTR is going to get cheered. Yeah. But so, even if they cheat to win, it only protects FTR even more. And while it sucks, FTR is probably going to end up losing a set of titles. Like I said, they have 3. I think running around with 2 is enough. And I don't think they're going to lose those AAA titles anytime soon, because those motherfuckers don't give a shit about titles.
Yes, they really don't. They don't care so much to the point that FTR have had those stickers on the belts for, I think, over a year.
Yeah, the last time they had those titles, I'm pretty sure they had the AEW. Well, when they got those titles, I think they had the AEW tag titles.
I think so too.
And they were feuding with the Lucha Bros.
God,
they've had those titles for a minute. So I think they can afford to lose a set of titles, and it allows them to stay on AEW television where they are super duper over, as opposed to moving them to Ring of Honor. All right, let us move on now to the 6-man tag team championships. The champions, Dalton Castle and the Boys, who are my favorites, will be going against the Embassy, which is made up of Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. Gates of Agony, actually kind of cool from the limited stuff I've seen of them on AEW, but I like the Boys and Dalton Castle far too much to pick against them. So I do believe they're going to retain.
So my heart says Dalton Castle and the Boys. That's what my heart says. My head is saying the Embassy. My head is saying Brian Cage finally gets gold under Tony Khan's regime.
Not including the FTW championship.
That was bronze at best.
Orange, I think.
I don't even know. It was spray tanned, I think. Maybe.
It wouldn't surprise me if Cage caught a little spray tan on it.
I think Castle as a solo act, granted, he's never going to be completely solo because the Boys will be with him. But I think Castle as a solo act can do way more than any member of the Embassy can. I mean, Brian Cage can do anything, but I don't think there are plans for him to really be a solo act. So you might as well put it on the trio that's just genuinely going to stick around as a trio, and have Castle go maybe for singles titles. Like maybe he could go for the TV title. Maybe he could go for the world title again. Maybe he could go for the pure title, because he is that type of wrestler when he wants to be. Yeah, I'm going with the Embassy. I never bet against Prince Nana.
I don't know. I refuse to pick against Dalton Castle and the boys, but also too like considering Castle's previous injury history, I feel like keeping him in the trios division protects him a bit more, where he can have matches but not have to wrestle the whole thing, and it just helps him be on the card and still be a champion without always being a singles guy. Because I mean, you would know more about this than I do, but like I feel like with his injury history, I would want to do that instead of maybe throwing him back into the singles ranks. So
I'm going to give you the nerdiest comparison I can give you. Dalton Castle now is like Darth Vader in the suit. Did he have a lot more potential as Anakin Skywalker? Absolutely. Is he still over and popular and like menacing as fuck as Darth Vader in the suit? Yes.
Yeah, but he's not as powerful.
I mean, that is up to debate. That's all I'm going to say. That is up to debate.
Not with Vader, but
no, yeah, with Vader. But this is not a Star Wars podcast. When you and I will do that eventually one day.
We're gonna do that right after the show. All right. All right. Well, avoiding that conversation, let's move on to a match that I was very surprised to see on the card because I missed the build to it, which is Swerve and Our Glory, who apparently are still together against Shane Taylor Promotions, which is Shane Taylor and JD Griffey. So obviously, Swerve and Our Glory, we thought they were broken up after Full Gear. They, I guess, talked it out, and there was a bit of backstory put in, I guess, on Rampage, James, if you want to run that down for us, for those of us who missed it.
So essentially, Keith Lee was being interviewed by Renee. Great job, Renee. When he gets interrupted by Shane Taylor, who was one of Keith's tag team partners, I want to say like 6 years ago, maybe give or take. And Shane says, "You left Swerve just like you left me. You keep doing this. And now it's going to be a family affair at Final Battle. Shane Taylor Promotions versus Keith Lee, and find someone who wants to team with you." As soon as he said that, as soon as they left, Keith is standing there when Swerve comes out menacingly, like the creeper that he is. Sneaky Swerve. And he says, "Can I even rely on you, man? Can I even trust you?" And they say, "Let's talk about it." And that's where we are now. That's the match. Swerve and Our Glory versus Shane Taylor Promotions. And can Keith Lee trust Swerve?
I'm going to go with no.
I don't know. I take it back. I do know. Yeah, he can't trust Swerve. I think Shane Taylor Promotions is going to win because Swerve betrays Keith Lee. And I could also say, based off Tony Khan's comments, where he said, "Yeah, Shane Taylor just felt like the right choice here. He just kind of showed up and it made sense." No, I think Shane Taylor Promotions is going to be a part of Ring of Honor moving forward. And it's a good way to establish the duo by taking on two very well-known stars in Swerve and Our Glory.
Yeah, I will go so far as to say that Keith Lee eats the pin here. Because
I think so. Absolutely.
I think Swerve's going to walk out on him the same way Keith walked out on Swerve at Full Gear. So, because there's no way these two guys aren't feuding. They have to. Like, they've built this so much, and they just can't be like, "Oh, actually, you know what? Keith's going to turn heel, and they're going to stay together as a tag team." That's so fucking lame. So just give us the feud we want. Have Swerve, sneaky Swerve, turn on Keith. Keith eats the pin, and Shane Taylor Promotions gets a good win.
I'm just not looking forward to it. Neither man could afford to lose that feud.
That's true. It's going to be good either way. I know this is not on the card. I think Swerve ends up winning the feud because he is really hot right now as a heel, and Keith will always be over. So I think even if he loses that feud, like, it propels Swerve, and Keith will be able to recover, I think. So should be fun though. Should be a lot of fun. All right. Speaking of new guys in the promotion, we have Juice Robinson going up against Samoa Joe for the Ring of Honor Television Championship. I was very confused about Juice. I know his contract with New Japan ended, so he's not there anymore. He has obviously signed some sort of contract with AEW/Ring of Honor. He was somebody Tony Khan brought up in the media scrum, as I mentioned earlier, as somebody who could be a very good Ring of Honor Ring of Honor television champion. But I don't know. I'm kind of liking this whole Samoa Joe ruler of television bit he's got going on right now. I'm really enjoying that. So I think Samoa Joe is gonna win here, even though I like Juice and Bullet Club for life.
For life, except for AJ Styles.
For life.
I'm with you. I think Joe retains. I want Juice to win. I think Juice is a talent that American audiences really aren't prepared for because of how fun he is in Japan, or was in Japan. He has a deal with Tony Khan. He has a deal with AEW, but so far he is not all elite. He'd make a great TV champion, and it depends on if Tony wants Joe to be on both shows. But I think Joe retains, and that makes me sad. Juice deserves better.
Hell of a matchup between two former NXT guys, I gotta say.
Oh, absolutely. I will say though, if you're expecting CJ Parker from NXT as opposed to the Juice Robinson we have now, you're going to be in for a surprise because this is not the same guy, and it's for the better.
Yeah, he really won me over. I've seen him before in some other Bullet Club involved stuff, but he really won me over in that match against Moxley a couple of months ago.
Yeah.
So, like, it was the first time I'd seen him wrestle, as opposed to just seeing him involved in Bullet Club skits and stuff. So, yeah. I really enjoyed him in the ring. So, I think it's going to be really cool watching him wrestle. And I think he's going to have a really good match against Joe. I know Joe's kind of lost a step, but it's still Samoa Joe. He's still great.
And he can still go.
He can still go. He had a very good match against Darby Allin this past week on Dynamite. So I think this is one of those matches I think could low-key kind of steal the show. And I know, it's going to be hard to beat the likes of the FTR and Briscoes match, which is probably going to end up being match of the night. Also, there's the pure title match, which I think is going to be up there as well. But
seen it too many times.
Yeah, but I like those kids, so I think it's going to be good. But I think this is one of those ones you're going to be like, it was really fucking good? Samoa Joe versus Juice Robinson. Why don't we talk about that more? I feel like it's going to be one of those types of matches.
It's the dark horse match of the show.
Yeah, definitely. Sorry, still playing hurt, fighting through it. All right, let's move on to the women's Ring of Honor World Championship match, which will be Mercedes Martinez against Athena. I had completely forgot they turned Athena heel until I saw her at Rampage live a couple of weeks ago, and she came out to kick the shit out of somebody, and I was like, oh, they turned Athena heel. I completely forgot about that because it was on Rampage and nobody fucking saw it. But honestly, she was really good as a heel in that match. I think she's been really good as a heel since I've noticed she's been a heel and she's been paying attention to it. I saw Mercedes Martinez's return. Well, technically both of them. She was on Elevation before Rampage and before Dynamite in Bridgeport, and I kind of spoiled that for everybody because I didn't know she wasn't back yet, and I put it on Instagram. And then I think I saw her official return at Rampage. So either way, I'm excited for this match, mostly because I think Athena is going to win.
I think so too. I think Mercedes has done a good job as Ring of Honor Women's Champion. She's held the belt well. I know she dealt with an injury for a while, which is why we haven't seen her.
I was going to say she was out for a while because we were asking this at one point on the show, like, where the fuck did she go?
And it was treated very low key too. Yeah. There wasn't any major announcement, and you could get away with that, unfortunately, with Ring of Honor because you're not under any obligation to keep the Ring of Honor stuff going on AEW. They just do.
I feel like she beat Deonna Purrazzo and then like completely just, or Deonna Purrazzo and then completely disappeared.
She had the match with Serena Deeb, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that's right. That was a good match, actually.
It was a good match. So I think she has a nice, healthy reign under her belt. And I think this is going to be Athena's first major title on TV.
Yeah, which I'm excited for. And obviously, you know, that would lead her to being on Ring of Honor, but I think that's a good spot for Athena.
I also think, considering the alternative is she's just been stuck on Rampage, it doesn't really feel like downward trajectory in either scenario. You know, she's kind of staying sideways, if anything. She's moving sideways.
Yeah, but I mean, even then, like she's going from, you know, the B show, which is on a 10 o'clock, you know, death slot on Friday night, to being the champion of, you know, of a promotion and being the top woman in the promotion. So I think that's actually a bit of a step up and something that she not only deserves, she's going to be very good at.
I completely agree. And this heel turn has definitely provided her with new life. So more power to her. I'm all for it. Good for Athena, and I'm rooting for her to win the title.
Yeah, and like, you know, the gimmick works, the fallen goddess being a heel, and it's just, yeah, like you said, I think providing new life is a great word for her. She had been a little flat coming in as the baby face. So this has been great for her. I love it. Give her the title. Let her run the show. All right, now we come to the aforementioned pure title match between Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta. Obviously, this being contested under pure wrestling rules, which the first time I experienced them was when they had the title match on Dynamite, and as I say that, and I've said this now a couple of times, the first time I experienced this was on Dynamite. I understand that was the point of putting all the Ring of Honor shit on Dynamite. I get it, Tony. You just completely let Ring of Honor just eat AEW from the inside out. Like, there was a way to do it, and maybe it was just because it took them so long to get this TV deal, but it was a little too much. I digress. I know, James, this is now, I think, the third time we're seeing this match one-on-one for the title, but I'm still pretty excited for it.
I actually texted this in our group chat earlier because we were discussing a lot of the Ring of Honor stuff, a lot of the BCC stuff. Sometimes I just want to see good wrestlers wrestle good. You know, I know that's a terribly worded sentence, but it's the truth.
Wrestle well, but yeah, other than that, fine.
I was going for something. I was going for, like,
I know.
You know.
Well, you were the one who said it was terribly worded, so I was.
Yes.
But
we
digress.
Daniel Garcia and Wheeler Yuta are great wrestlers. They are. They're young, talented, scrappy. They are great wrestlers. They're going to put on a great wrestling match. I'm slightly concerned because, having seen the first two matches, there wasn't anything between the two matches that differentiated them too much other than the outcome. And I don't want them to have a good match that no one remembers because it's already happened twice.
Yeah, and they just blend together. Exactly.
So I hope I'm proven wrong. I'm sure they're capable of surprising us, or me, I should say. I don't have hype for it, but I know while I'm watching it, I'll enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm leaning a little towards the other way, where I am hyped for it because I am a huge Wheeler Yuta fan, and I'm a pretty big Daniel Garcia fan too. I don't love him in the JAS, but like, he's doing really good work there.
Is he though?
I think
he was. He was.
They
after he betrayed Brian, after he stuck with Jericho, he hasn't been on TV doing anything.
Yeah, he hasn't really been doing too much. You know, he's been tagging with, you know, Daddy Magic and, you know, Cool Hand Ange on like Dark and shit. They've been having trio matches, but yeah, you're right. Like, I mean, he was in the match on Dynamite this past week with Hager, but that's, you know, whatever. And I think a part of that is just everything that has been this JAS versus BCC feud, where it's gone on too long. This, you know, and this is now their third match, like we mentioned, for the title. They fought each other countless other times in tag matches. They're just always involved. They're always fighting. it's all been too much and too long, and I think that is completely detracting from this match because, like you said, this is two good wrestlers who are going to go in and have a really good match, but everything just surrounding them is really, really taking away from it, and it's unfortunate. And as they've been saying, this is the end of this feud, but this feud should have ended after the blood and guts match. And the fact it's still going on, and the fact that we've had to extend it all the way out to Final Battle to the fucking end, literally the end of the year, is detracting from this, and it's detracting from the main event as well.
I couldn't agree more. There's letting a feud develop and grow and, you know, telling a story, and then there's dragging something out, and this feud has been dragged out.
Yeah. And it's unfortunate too, because I feel like these guys could have put on a nice series of 3 matches that all told the story, and they've been spread out too much. And they, like I said, they've just been engulfed by this ridiculously long feud, and it's unfortunate. I realize I haven't given a winner. I don't think you did either.
I don't think I did either. I think I know who it's going to be, but yeah.
I want to see it be Wheeler. My heart says Wheeler. It's probably going to be Garcia, but I'm picking Wheeler just because I like him a lot.
I'm in the same boat. I would love for it to be Wheeler, and I would love for him to have gold. I think it's going to be Garcia, just because I don't have a reason to believe Wheeler can win right now. You know, I know he's capable of it. I just don't think he's going to. And I think it's because the BCC is going to be making some real changes.
Yeah, which I guess leads into the final match on the card, which is Chris Jericho versus Claudio Castagnoli for the Ring of Honor World Championship match. If Claudio loses, he will be forced to join the Jericho Appreciation Society.
Now is not the time. Now is not the time for your cute shenanigans.
So if you haven't noticed by his reaction, I think you can all figure out who James thinks is going to win this match.
I am not prepared for Claudio to leave the BCC. I'm not prepared for him to be a part of the Jericho Appreciation Society. Quite frankly, I don't want Jericho to be Ring of Honor champion anymore. I understand why he is. I see the value in it. Everybody, I get it. I just don't want it.
Well, I think this comes back to a debate we had a few weeks ago, where do you want Jericho to be your champion as like for the first few months of the show, or do you want him to be defeated right before the show starts and have a Ring of Honor guy be your champion? I think
ideally you have it be on the first episode of the show, Jericho drops the title. I think that's the ideal scenario. So if they had this match on ROH episode 1, Claudio, I don't think so. I think we're getting the Ocho continuing.
Oh,
yeah,
man, I don't know. Like, I don't know if Jericho wants to work Ring of Honor.
I don't think he cares.
Man,
I think he's getting paid the same no matter what. And I think there's a part of it. I love Jericho. I think we could agree Jericho has an ego. Is that fair to say?
What do you think?
And all we've heard was, oh yeah, Jericho was a huge factor in AEW getting a TV show in the first place. He was the biggest name AEW had, and he was one of the biggest reasons AEW got Dynamite. I think he wants to be able to say the same for Ring of Honor, that he helped Ring of Honor get a TV deal.
But they already did, allegedly. So,
but I mean, part of that would be because of Jericho, probably as champion, being on TV
and still being champion.
Yeah.
Damn.
Right.
Really trying to work my way into picking Claudio here.
I want it so much. I'm with you. I want it so much. I've had my heart broken though too many times.
He's gonna suck in the Jericho Appreciation Society.
No, that's the worst part. He's not.
No, I know he's
Claudio-
not going to suck. It's just the storyline's going to suck.
Yes, I don't want him in that group. I want him to be a good wrestler wrestling good. That's what I want. I don't need him to be goofy Claudio. I don't need him to be goofy Cesaro. I don't need that. I had that for years. Now I want Claudio. I'm not going to get it.
Man, the weird thing too is like they're also already running this storyline with Matt Hardy in the firm and Private Party as well. Like
I think
they're already doing this bit.
I think the difference is though, Claudio, who is just a naturally great heel when he wants to be, I think he's going to embrace being part of the Jericho Appreciation Society, as opposed to Matt, who's just continuously fighting it. I think we're going to get like a couple weeks of it, and then he's going to realize, oh yeah, Hager's this guy I used to team with, and I had a good time with. You know, I think he's going to fall back into being a heel, and yeah,
man, that would suck.
I'm right there with you. I'm right there with you.
You're probably right. I should have picked Jericho, and the fact that
go with your heart. Go with your heart.
It's just, I want Claudio to win. I think there is a world here where Claudio does win. I don't think this is a done deal.
The way Tony Khan talked about it, the way he spoke about it at the show, at the media call, was who's going to win? Is the Ring of Jericho going to continue, or is Claudio going to save the company? Is he going to save the championship? So he's meant to be this like defender of Ring of Honor. So there is a chance that could work. I know better. I know better.
See, also, I kind of have a problem with this match. I have a couple of problems with this matchup in general. One, I think the stipulation is dumb.
Yes.
I don't understand why they put it in the first place. Two, I don't feel like it should be Claudio being the savior of Ring of Honor.
Should be
I feel
Brian.
like, yeah, maybe, I guess. But, like, I feel like you almost should have found somebody who, like, was a big-time Ring of Honor champion that we haven't seen yet.
I mean,
now,
all right.
I don't know
objectively,
objectively,
there aren't many options on the table. That's the problem.
Yeah.
There's a lot of the former Ring of Honor champions are in WWE. A lot of the former Ring of Honor champions have already wrestled Jericho.
Yeah.
Or some of them just aren't in a position that it would make sense to wrestle Jericho. Samoa Joe doesn't really, at this point now,
given right how now,
the bookings, but doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
And then there are the guys
one of them tore his bicep and maybe getting kicked out of the company. One of them has a career-threatening concussion, and we hope he gets better. But he's in no position to do anything right now.
I mean, God willing, he will be. But yeah, there's not a lot of options. And the other one may be Austin Aries. Who the hell cares anymore?
Fuck him.
Yeah. So there aren't many options left.
Should have been Brian.
It should have been Brian.
I didn't understand why they started with him losing. It should have worked its way to Brian.
I agree. If they can wow me and they get Nigel McGuinness, I'll take back every bad thing I said.
Now that would be fun.
That would be. But I don't think we're getting Nigel McGuinness.
Is he cleared?
I don't know. Even if he is, he's a little old at this point. I mean, Jericho's older.
Yeah.
But
he hasn't wrestled in how many years?
I'm working myself up. I got a headache.
I mean, look, yeah, it's this matchup is weird in and of itself. I mean, Claudio had already lost to him twice, I think.
He beat. Yeah. Yep.
He lost the title to him, and then didn't they rematch and he lost again?
Well, the rematch was a fatal four-way.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's fair.
The rematch was a fatal four-way.
Yeah.
And Claudio has a win over him in the tag match.
All right, yeah. So, I mean, but it's still kind of weird.
No, it is. It is. It absolutely is.
Yeah. I mean, it's the whole fucking Ring of Jericho Appreciation Society thing versus the BCC is also fucking this all up too. So you know what? Picking Claudio, fuck it. I want him to win. Solidarity. But it's gonna be Jericho. I'm sorry.
I hope it's Claudio. I hope you're right, and I hope I'm wrong. I don't think so.